All right, what is going on, everybody? I hope you're all doing well, and thanks as always so much for watching. Today, I've got a guitar. It's this guitar. Want to know what it's called? Well, I'll tell you. It's the James Tyler Dann Huff Studio Elite HDX, and that sounds like a lot. It's really not. It's actually really simple, and the concept behind it, the way it was kind of birthed, is actually really, really cool. I have a James Tyler Studio Elite HD. Well, that ain't it. Oh, there it is. I have a Studio Elite HD. So basically, that's a 5-way switch with the preamp and boost, which is really, really cool. It's great. Love that guitar. There were some other ideas that brought this one about. One of them being a lot of players really like having a little bit more options when it comes to a 5-way switch. The main one being, you get all these combinations, but what you don't get is the neck and the bridge pickup together. So you get a switch now, a button. That center button allows you to have neck and bridge if you're in the bridge or neck position. You'll get neck and bridge. If you're in any other position, you're going to get all 3 of these pickups on. It's the one thing you just can't drag out of a Strat, is that kind of quasi-teletone, quasi-teletone? I don't know, either way. And there are more things you can drag out of that sound, because one of the other things is a Dann Huff thing where he would series parallel the back pickup, the bridge humbucker, but then use that in combination with the other 3 pickups, which now you can do. You can have all 3 pickups at once. But if you hit this button, that's going to switch this from series, which is really fat, to parallel, which is a little more stringy and a little less output. And we'll let you hear it in the demo for sure. But that allows you to get all those really cool, like comb filtered 3 pickup 80s, pick an album. It probably happened on there. So that's really how this HDX came about. So what's this thing made of? Well, it's made of wood. Alder, actually. So the body is alder, neck is quarter sawn maple, fretboard, Indian rosewood. What else is going on with this thing? I think the frets, what's it say? I'll look at the old spec sheet. Okay, yeah, the frets are, they're the wide tall. I don't know that they're stainless or not. It doesn't say it on the spec sheet. So you can choose between like wide tall or narrow tall. I really like the wide talls, but that's to each his own. As I mentioned, quarter sawn maple, Indian rosewood. The neck shape is the 64. Mine is the 59. Both feel really great, but that's the neck shape. Nut on this guy is 1 5/8, which is cool. If you're wondering what the finish is called, it's called white schmear. And it's actually the semi, I don't think it's full matte. No, it's semi-gloss. Hopefully you can kind of see what's going on there. It's really Very fancy. Okay, and what's going on with the yeah, the pickups are the JTS 5500s single coils. That's in the neck in the middle. And then the bridge pickup is a James Tyler Super. We'll definitely check those guys out. The hardware, it's the G2 TS. That's what I'm used to seeing. Tuners are hip shot. Those are great locking tuners. Now it does say that the strings are 10 to 46, but no. But this one actually has 9 to 42s on it. So that's how you're hearing it. I don't think there's much else to talk about it. Yeah, we got the boost, we got all the switching options. I'm going to show you that in the demo anyway, so I'm going to stop yapping and let's check out this James Tyler Dann Huff Studio Elite HDX. Oh, one thing I forgot to tell you, the potentiometers are Emerson potentiometers. Those guys do really great stuff, way tighter variances, really smooth taper. They just feel great. I mean, they just feel expensive. Like when you turn the potentiometer, it's like, oh, wow. We'll check that out as well. So yeah, let's check it out. All righty. Let's listen to this guitar. Okay, cool, sniffles and all. I just wanted you guys to, hear kind of my favorite settings. So I just wanted to kind of bang through some of those switches. I certainly enjoyed those sounds. It was the inspiration for that little ditty I wrote in that intro track. Where I want to start, and then I'll expand upon it later, is this preamp circuit with mid boost. So essentially right now, if we leave all these switches in and don't touch anything, this is going to be more of kind of a vintage thing. There's nothing, active about it, and it sounds great. These pickups sound really good in my opinion. So they sound great, stringy, vintagey. But if you want it to sound a little more active, especially if you really like, the 80s tones or seem to be kind of creeping back, which I think is fabulous. But if you like that, without even engaging the boost part, the mid boost part of the circuit, if you just turned it on, you're turning on the preamp. And what that's going to do is basically make the whole pickguard active. And to my ears, it seems like it's adding some volume too, maybe a couple dB, but it's also just making everything really spread out. There's going to be more top end and more lows. And that's why, to me, it's like it sounds more active, but just, here. Just turning this on in that position. it just kind of wakes everything up. Definitely, there's a definite volume bump there. But it's just really pretty. So I left that on basically for the whole performance. I think I did turn it off when I switched over to a drive amp. I think I did end up turning that off because I wanted it to sound a little more vintagey, especially in the neck position. But that's what's going on there. I'll get into how this mid boost sounds, maybe for kind of single note sounds. It's really, really fat. And it'll actually roll out some top end as you roll it up, but it gets really fat. I think it works better for single notes, especially like back humbucker. So that's what's going on with the preamp. The other really cool thing about this pickguard and the way it's set up is this switch in the middle allows you to essentially turn on the neck and bridge together. So if you're in position, neck position or bridge position, you're going to get these two together. If you're in any other position, you're going to get all three pickups. So that was a tone, and you I guess you can't hear it because I was goofball soloing over it at the end. But if you listen to that song, I did change pickup positions so that you guys could hear what it was doing. At the end, I ended on that sound. And I just thought that was such a beautiful tone, and that's what you're not going to be able to drag out of like a standard 5-way switch on a Strat, are tones like that. I mean, the closest you would get is, I guess some combination of neck and middle or bridge and middle, which sounds fine, but there's just something. Yeah, it's got kind of a telly thing to it, but it's also just kind of its own deal. Yeah, run that in a track with a tremolo and you're good to go. Now, if I do second position with that switch out, then you're going to get all three pickups together. And that's where you're going to get more of, the true, to me, the kind of 80s Landau, or just, pick your 80s record that your favorite cat, Dan Huff, Landau. It's that kind of thing. So, I mean, I'd put a compressor on that so it didn't break up the front end of the amp at all, and that's the sound. Let's look at, okay, so we got that figured out. Let's look at this last switch down here, last but not least. That is there to basically go from series to parallel on this pickup, bridge only. So let me put these guys all back in. So that's a pretty hot pickup. I mean, sounds great, but it's just got a good amount of push. If you go parallel, so we're hearing in series. I love it in parallel, but that's just me. But that's the really nice thing about having that, is you can switch to parallel, and it's a slightly thinner tone. But that's where, if you just felt like, it was just a little too hot, and now it's a little too soft, I would like a little more fatness back. Go ahead and turn on the mid circuit and just roll a little bit into it. So that's where that circuit really comes in handy, and just rolling in a little bit will do it for you. And then of course, if we come back around to that center switch, keep in mind that with the bridge in, that still splits when you're adding it to the neck. So you add another tone. And then if you do the 3 pickup thing, so there's another tone. So with it, you know, this guy in series back here, get that tone, pretty cool. But if you do it parallel, a little bit thinner, a little bit more stringy. So that's what's going on with all the switches. Let me switch over to, because that amp looks lonely. Let me switch over to that, and we'll just listen to you know, some drive tones. So, you know, I use this for it's my Friedman DS40. Back there is my Rev D40. So that's all the clean tones, and then my Friedman over here, my Dirty Shirley, is doing all the dirt. So I, you know, the neck position thing. And then with it active, but no boost. Okay, so now I'm on the back humbucker. Not as into it. It's just such a big sounding pickup, but I really liked it for the solo tone stuff. But for rhythm stuff, I would immediately go ahead and go parallel. And then once again, if I need a little bit more, I can just go more active with that circuit. It's even a little bit more kind of stringy, so this would be like one side of the mix, and then maybe on the other side of the mix I go full humbucker, but I can also add a little bit of boost. With all of these switches, it's just sky's kind of the limit, but it's really simple. It's not a super complex, lots of 3-ways. Not that I'm against that, but this to me is just a much simpler kind of shut up and play your guitar setup. Oh, and these pots are fabulous. These are Emerson pots. The taper, the feel, the consistency. Really nice feeling pots. It's one of those things where the second I turned them, I was just like, ooh, these kind of feel expensive. And then I realized, you know, the taper and everything is great. And Rich Rankin, the general manager, you know, mentioned to me like, hey, by the way, it's Emerson pots in there. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, that makes sense because they do great stuff. So I wanted to visit that really quickly. But yeah, that's how this guitar sounds. It's the Dann Huff. What the heck is it? Let me look. Yeah, it's that guy. It's that Dann Huff Studio Elite HDX. If you've got any other questions about it, definitely go to the website and check things out. And as always, I really appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you on the next one.